If you're going on a big cruise ship with tons of activities and attractions, or even if you're on a cruise ship of average size, these are some of the biggest cruise sea day mistakes that you are going to want to avoid. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, while many of us are cruising for the ports and the destinations, let's face it, our cruise sea days are a very big part of our cruise vacation. As a matter of fact, I think that for many frequent cruisers, the sea days are sometimes the best days of their cruise. Now that said, it's hard to actually mess up a sea day, but there are some mistakes we've actually made on recent cruises, and I will as well share some tips and tricks for how you can maximize those days on your cruise. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. Now, I have a total of 15, including a couple of really practical tips toward the end. Number one, taking too much sun. Now, this can happen to the best of us, especially if we're on some of those hot weather cruises, especially during the winter when we're really craving that warmth and sun. But the sun, when you're out at sea, is honestly much hotter, much stronger than many of us are used to. It really is just so important to apply sunscreen, to apply a good SPF, to reapply often. I would also say make sure that you are wearing an SPF lip balm. There are many people who sometimes comment under my videos saying that when they didn't do that, they actually burned their lips and their lips can get swollen. You understand, this is not something good. And honestly, if you start off your cruise with a bad sunburn, it could potentially ruin your vacation. Number two, not checking the cruise planner or the cruise line app the night before the sea day. Now, on sea days, oftentimes there are many different things that we want to do, from the activities to even doing some of the attractions. But something that you should know is even the attractions on board do have opening and closing hours, and sometimes they're open maybe from 10 till 12 and they reopen from 1 till 3. So you really do want to know those opening and closing hours. And as well, for any of the activities that are happening, you don't want to wake up in the morning only to find that an activity that you were really looking forward to already happened or is happening maybe in 15 minutes and you're right in the middle of breakfast. So it's a good idea the night before the sea day to take a little bit of a look just to see, generally at least, what are some of the things that you'd like to plan for. Number three, your wake up time. Now, this is different for everyone. There are some people who really want to wake up early. They want to be able to see the sunrise on sea days, and it would be a mistake to miss that. But likewise, it's a mistake not to rest when you need a rest. Now, in particular, if you're on a port-intensive cruise, I know we have done that before when our excursions have been very early in the morning, maybe at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. So we're waking up pretty early to get prepared. And then on sea days, we just need to rest a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't feel guilty if you do need to sleep in till 9 o'clock, even on a sea day, or later if you've gone out the night before. That is what sea days are for. Number four, not getting out to the Lido deck early. Now, unless you are sleeping in and that's what you need, get out to the Lido deck early if you like to be by the pool and you want to get in a little bit of sun. Now, one of the things that I really like about being out at the Lido deck early is, well, firstly, you are going to get one of the better chairs in the best locations. That's understandable. But beyond that, on sea days, there are many people that are sleeping in. So it's actually going to be quieter in terms of the environment in the pool. If you do want to swim a little bit, if you do want to read and not have too much loud music or just not have big crowds around you, this is really the time. So I would suggest that you have your pool time in the morning, take a break, go somewhere for lunch, and then consider doing some other activities that you want to do in the afternoon. Number five, not eating at alternative restaurants. Now, I've actually been finding on recent cruises that the buffet is getting better and better. So I wouldn't say not to eat at the buffet, but you do know it's going to be a little bit crowded. And if you've been eating at the buffet already, you might want to try one of the alternative restaurants. Now, sometimes this can mean a specialty restaurant. Oftentimes those specialty restaurants do actually have lunchtime specials. So it is a good idea to check them out if you had wanted to anyway. And there are other restaurants that are included, but do have a little bit of a different menu. So there are casual Italian restaurants, casual Mexican restaurants, the cafes that oftentimes have maybe salads and sandwiches and some things that you maybe haven't had a chance to try yet. Number 6, now this one is not going to apply to everyone, but if you are on a big, busy ship, well, you might appreciate this tip. The mistake would be not booking some of those exclusive adult-only areas that are available on certain ships. So for instance, Norwegian Cruise Line has the Vibe Beach Club, Princess has the Sanctuary, Holland America has the Retreat. These are nice areas to go if you do need a little bit of quiet, if you do need a little bit of time away from the crowds. And I would say in particular, if you are cruising during summer break when there's a lot of children, if you are cruising maybe during the holidays, those are really good times, even though it does cost a little bit of money to kind of buy yourself a little bit of peace and quiet and enjoyment. Number 7, not getting in some movement. Now, let's face it, when we're on a cruise, we're often eating and drinking much more than we would at home. And that oftentimes means that we feel a little bit bloated, maybe we feel a little bit swollen. If you get in some movement, it really does help to alleviate, or at least it helps us to feel a little bit less guilty perhaps. But in any case, movement is good. So you can go to the gym maybe first thing in the morning, or even take a break in the afternoon and head over to the fitness center. You might want to go onto the jogging track or walking track. Oftentimes what we try to do is take in about a 30-minute walk on a cruise. It is such a beautiful view as we see the ocean like surrounding us, and it is a great way to get in a little bit of movement. Now, beyond walking, there are tons of activities these days on a cruise ship. So whether it's basketball, dodgeball, pickleball, or maybe some of the pool games, there are a lot of ways to get in a little bit of movement on your sea days. Number 8, not doing some of the indoor activities. There is so much to do indoors on a cruise ship. So whether it is Zumba or dance class, that is available. Whether it's the origami classes or painting classes. Now, some of them do have a nominal fee, but there is a lot to do. There are even enrichment lectures and port lectures, so do take a look at your planner for that. And something that I really like on many cruises when it's available is going to the captain's talk. Number 9, not getting pampered at the spa. Now, I know oftentimes we do talk about how on port days you can actually get some specials and promotions at the spa. That is definitely a good money-saving tip, but oftentimes we're busy on port days, so maybe you haven't had a chance. But if you want to go to the thermal spa, if you want to get a massage, the treatments are really good. They're really relaxing on a cruise, and it might just be worth pampering yourself on a sea day. It probably is something that you won't regret. Number 10, if you are a foodie or if you're just looking for something that is a little bit different, it is a mistake to not go to afternoon tea. Now, I'm not sure if this is offered on all cruise lines, but I do know on Princess, on Carnival, on Holland America. So on several cruise lines, they do offer afternoon tea. I think it's around 3 p.m. Now, of course, if you're British or from somewhere else where you have afternoon tea, this is not something that is new to you. But for me, this was something so fun that we did a few years ago. We had these little cucumber and cream cheese sandwiches. They were really good. Of course, we had tea. We had the little petit fours. It was just so nice to take this little break in the middle of the day, get out of our pool clothes, and have those delicious scones, cream, and jam. Number 11, not taking advantage of the duty-free shopping. Now, sea days are the best days to go shopping on a cruise, and that is because on port days, the shops actually have to stay closed when you're in cruise ports of call, but they can stay open when they are in international waters. And of course, you can shop in the evening, but during the sea days, that is when they bring out usually their specials, their little pop-up shops that are set up right in the middle. You'll find jewelry specials, specials on liquor, which by the way, you do have to take home. You are not able to drink that on a cruise. You'll also find specials on merch and more. Now, a little tip, there will also be raffles. You can see that in the cruise planner. So when there are raffles and contests and at what time that will happen, you do have to be there to win. But I can tell you, my mother has won on a couple of occasions, so it can really be worth it. Number 12, not going to the cruise ship casino. Now, just like the shops are not open when you are in port, well, the casino is not open when you're in port, but you do not have to wait till the nighttime to go to the casino. So if you are a casino lover, you can check out the casino during the day. Number 13, not appreciating your surroundings and the view. Let's face it, we're on these big cruise ships and many of them just have these incredible attractions that sometimes we are looking inward. But if we take a look outward, Just imagine that ocean view. It is absolutely incredible. So take the opportunity to look for marine life. Maybe you want to do that with binoculars or just with the naked eye. You will see flying fish. You might see whales. We've even seen whales on a Caribbean cruise once. Very, very cool. You might see a coastline. You might see other cruise ships. And of course, you will just see the sea, and that in itself is so rejuvenating. Number 14. Now this one is very practical. And the mistake that a lot of people make is not prioritizing and planning for the things that they really want to do on sea days. Now, what I mean is maybe you booked a cruise ship and you really had some things that you wanted to do. Maybe it is to go zip lining on a cruise. If that is something that is on your bucket list, you want to make sure that you do it ideally on your first sea day. The thing a lot of people don't think about is the fact that weather and sea conditions can really affect the opening hours of attractions on a cruise ship. So on your very first sea day, you'll want to make a plan to do the things that you really want to do. Otherwise, you might regret it. Number 15, this is probably my least favorite thing to do, but it really is kind of a practical thing to do on your last sea day. So something that you'll want to do on your last sea day, and honestly, it is a mistake not to, is to check your invoice. So just do a quick check, make sure that your invoice is really settled as it should. If you do need to go to guest services, make sure that you do that as early as possible. As well, unfortunately, you are going to have to pack up that day. So you might want to even early in the morning start putting a few things in your bag, or even the day before your last sea day. Now you can also do that later on and don't stress about it, but you do want to plan and be practical. You also want to give out any of the tips that you want to give out, and if you've made any new friends, you want to take down their contact information. Now I'd love to hear from you. Please let me know if you prefer port days or sea days. Please let me know down in the comments below, and let me know as well any of the mistakes that you've maybe made on any sea days, or any tips that you have as well. Please let me know down in the comments below. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now, and happy cruising.